Well, I'm not Sandra, but Sandra, we switched today. I got the good fortune to be with Thomas Mcdowell today. Thomas is on every other week talking about different things in pharmacy and medicine and all. But today we have an excitement that is arising because, in looking at you guys out there watching us, some of you guys are old. I mean, old. And so we need to have a great service for our elder care. And this, we don't necessarily talk about a individual illness. We're going to talk about an individual situation that's happening because of demographics.
Yeah.
Now, Thomas, if you would, tell us what's going on with you and y'all's operation for care.
Sure. And so we're like Roger said, we're shifting towards a little bit away from pharmacy, but it complements pharmacy and our customer base, in a great way. And so talking about senior care, primarily.
Which is big.
And we were touching on the demographics and the trends in the United States before we hopped on the show, and just a few numbers. So right now there's about 46 million Americans that are 65 and older.
That's a lot.
Big number there, but in 2050, which sounds like a long ways off, but really not that far off, there's going to be about 90 million. So that number of Americans 65 and older will almost double in the next 25, 27 years. And so there's a growing trend for a need for services and care for seniors. They need resources, they need primary care doctors, they need senior care options, accessibility, affordability. They need options, and they need local options. And so we took it upon ourselves to start a home care company called Happier at Home of Eastern North Carolina.
Now give that again.
So Happier at Home of Eastern North Carolina.
And where's that located?
So our office is right here
for
in Rocky
this
Mount.
service.
Yep. So our office is right here in Rocky Mount. So home base is Rocky Mount, but we can, if we can get a caregiver to you in Eastern North Carolina, we can serve a big area because we're going to the home, sending caregivers out to a client's home, and they're providing a whole lot of different services, whatever that client needs. And so, we're based
and
out
it
here.
can change weekly.
Yeah. And so
I mean, it's not like this is something that you can put on your books and go out.
it's fluid, very fluid. And so we start off when we're, onboarding a client for this in-home care service. We send a nurse out into the home to do a free assessment and just to assess the needs of the patient and see, are there any falls risk, what are they needing, not just from a healthcare standpoint, but also socially. And
that's important.
Economically.
That is important. People don't realize just sitting at home alone,
it's not good for your mental or your physical health.
feeling sorry for yourself, which you have every right to.
It's
But you
tough.
need that interaction.
Yeah, that mental stimulation that comes from social interaction is very important. And we focus a lot on, we need to take all our medicine and need to go see the doctor, but you need to be mentally stimulated regularly through social interaction to stay alert and intentional and purposeful with your life so that you can stay healthy as long as possible.
One thing, I don't think people that hadn't been exposed to it realize how difficult it is to remember to take medicine every day.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's with family. So I know being alone.
I have struggled myself.
I mean,
before.
it's difficult. I mean, because you've had a lifetime of not needing it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it may be just vitamins.
Yeah.
It may be antibiotics. And
Yeah.
But lo and behold, you take it Monday, you're feeling good. It's Thursday, and then all realize you. Oh my goodness!
Missed a couple days. Yeah. And so that's the big thing that the seniors are struggling with, and that's one of the reasons we started Happier at Home. Is we saw these needs for our patients, and medication related issues are one of the biggest drivers for patients being admitted to a nursing home or to the hospital. And we're really focused on helping clients age in place. That's a big phrase for us: age in place and age independently.
Well, with you being a pharmacist and with you having nurses and with you having access to the prescriptions, it's sort of come in and we have a full service care for senior people that are out there that need all these things, so they don't forget to fill their prescriptions, or they need, I guess, a specialty in kidney, or what have you.
Yeah, and so that's a big reason why we've seen the healthcare industry trending towards aging at home. There's a lot of great nursing home facilities out there, but there's not as many as there used to be. And it's becoming,
and staffing is so hard.
And it is, and they have a big staff to keep on board, and folks, they want to avoid going into a nursing home as long as possible.
Sure.
Typically, there's a time and place where you might have to, and there's some great places out there, but most folks want to age at home, and so care in the home is a big trend, and so if we can help folks not only with their home care needs, but also making sure that we're looking at their medications and that there's no issues or duplications or interactions in that side of things, we can really help, delay that move into a higher level of care and keep them at home. And that's what they want.
I will talk to you after class about a situation that just occurred this weekend that you and your organization may be able to give some advice on how it can be handled. I don't think right on TV would be.
Absolutely. Be happy to.
Now, are you going to have like toll-free numbers, or is it going to be referral from the pharmacy? You have brochures. How is the contact going to be going forward? Hopefully that on your program you'll start interacting with. If you're talking about shingles, fine, but this is something for elder care. How this program can continue touching both sides of your career and services.
And so with the two pharmacies, we have Medical Park Pharmacy right here in Rocky Mount, 901 North Winstead Avenue, and the Boyce Willis Clinic building is what most people refer to it as. And we also have Mcdowell's Pharmacy in Scotland Neck, and so
and there aren't many up in the Scotland Neck, Halifax area.
No, a little more rural up in that area.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, we love that area. Born and raised there in Scotland Neck, and so we're really working on getting the word out, and we're fortunate to have the two pharmacies where we can really, show our customers that we offer this service. And they already trust us. They have a relationship with us.
How old is the pharmacy?
McDowell's, we've been there since 1901.
So I would say they have some experience.
Yeah, and so we've been around a long time and have served sometimes 4 generations of families in that area.
That's wonderful.
I'm a 4th generation pharmacist, and my great grandfather started a long time ago, over 100 years ago. And so we've got that trust, we've got that relationship, and folks want to do business and to be served, especially in healthcare, by people they know. They want a relationship, and I think that's so important, especially for seniors. Complex situations.
You walk in and they say, "Oh, Mr. Jones, it's good to see you. Is everything going well?" Absolutely. And it's amazing, or how often I hear where you can literally see some individuals come in and there's been a change in their health since the last time you saw them.
We notice that and try to get to know them, and that relationship and not treating them like a number, like a person. It's not an assembly line. We get to know them and we can notice, like you said, a difference. And hey, what's going on, Mr. Smith?
Walking slower, talking slower.
And we've had some situations where we've been able to be that triage point. We're the most accessible healthcare providers. Pharmacy is. You can call or come in and talk to a provider immediately, and you can't do that with a doctor. And they're busy, but it's just the way our system works. Right.
Well, that's right. Especially when the doctors are hospital employees and they have to see 25 patients a day.
Yeah, it's not.
You can't just
can't really.
Let's sit down and chew the fat.
Yeah, it doesn't work, and they're obviously doing a great job, but it's that system's kind of having to see a lot of patients at a time. But going back to getting the word out. So we're talking to our pharmacy customers, but we're also have our office, in Station Square, which is a great place to have an office, and ton of awesome things going on there.
Now, let me interject. Most people know where Station Square is, but if you don't, it's down near the old railroad, railroad station, and I guess beside Old Belt Towers and things like that, right across from Dillon Supply,
Yeah.
right across from the police station.
Yeah.
So
Safe place.
Between that sandwich, you can find it.
Yeah. If you look up Station Square, and it'll take you right to that office building, and we're you go in right down the hall on the left, and but most
First
of
floor?
our first floor, most of our contacts are made through social media and via phone.
Oh, sure.
And so most people, this is one of those things where you don't know that you need it until you need it.
Oh, that's right.
Especially because loved ones, daughters and sons are often the ones that are realizing, hey, mom or dad needs some help. Maybe mom passed away and dad really needs somebody to help at the house, and they don't want to go to a nursing home. And so that family member may be the one to contact us, and then we can go from there, because sometimes the actual client is just not wanting to even think about needing help, and it's a tough situation.
It's hard. It's difficult if you have family members that have held I've done it this way forever.
Yep. I
You know?
want to change. And so that's making sure they're comfortable with making some changes. But usually when they they want to age at home is the main thing, and however they can do that is they'll be interested in making that work. And so we can send a caregiver out to the home, and we can help them with grocery shopping, transportation, housekeeping, linen changes, all the way to personal care, which is bathing and activities of daily living, and hands-on services. So a lot of help. And so that's the big thing, where we're trying to provide a whole lot of services beyond just but some people just want companion care.
Well, that's right.
And they just want somebody to interact with, and take them to to the grocery once a week, or take them to get their hair done. It's as simple as that.
That hair thing's big.
Yeah. Miss Smith wants to go to that hair appointment every single week, and that's a routine, and it gives them joy. And so maybe their family lives out of state or something, so this allows the family to have peace of mind that
I'm sorry, I think the smoke is outside. It's got
coming down from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we feel there's a big need out there for it, and all of our caregivers are bonded and insured, so folks don't have to worry about any liability, and also we handle all the scheduling. So sometimes folks will try to just hire somebody they know, down the street, and
It don't work.
And
It's about contact.
It's just
you
not
have to know the
sustainable.
people.
Yeah, and sometimes it works, but it's usually not sustainable. And then I've talked to folks that are doing that, and they're spending all this time counting money to pay the caregiver, and they're having to coordinate the scheduling, and then the more care that family member needs, they're having to bring 3-4 people. It just gets really difficult.
Well, it does, and most people think about seniors and having the little things with the medicine in each day, but a lot of them are there just having envelopes with cash put aside for services. And we don't realize the stress that can create.
Yeah, there's a lot of those little things that they need to have help with, and as they're aging, and or if it's a situation where they're having some Alzheimer's or dementia, that's a big area that we can help with, because a lot of times those patients are physically doing fairly well. And
quite often.
Yeah, and they don't really necessarily need nursing home care yet, and they just need somebody to look after them, be there with them to kind of guide them and help them. And
the dementia thing, that can happen so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And with family, it's happened so quickly that you hadn't noticed it.
Yeah.
It takes somebody else who may have not seen you in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And in that 2 months period, it has gone from, full speed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I had clients in my career where, typically I would review every 6 months, depending on what it is, or every quarter or something. But I remember one in particular, from a 6 month, it was like,
Yeah.
when the appointment, my organization said, "Did you see that?" And we actually contacted the family, and the family hadn't noticed it.
It happens.
Had not noticed it. And to us, it was just like black and white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're kind of just, you start thinking, well, they're just aging. It's just part of aging.
Yeah.
But you want to really get on that situation quickly so that you can,
That's right.
there are some medications that can delay the symptoms and lessen the symptoms. It is, right now, not curable, but, there's some people it's very
It's
slow.
a
Some people
bad.
it's tough. Some people it's very aggressive, and it happens just very rapidly.
And the families that are being involved all of a sudden thinks that the individual that is reaching that has turned against them, or
Yeah.
being ugly to them, and not putting the two together.
Yeah, they're just kind of focused on what's happening right in front of them as far as some of the emotional changes, but there's a reason for that usually, and most folks don't change their personality unless there's some kind of health condition going on.
It takes a special person to care.
Yeah, and so we focus on getting caregivers that are compassionate and that are of course reliable and that are going to build a relationship and rapport with the clients. And so that's really key for us, so we can have consistency there. Have our caregivers continue to, to be the same one if we can help it. But then, if
Well,
they can't-
absolutely. Familiarity is good. Well, Thomas, we've got the break sign, but if you would, again, in a 30-second closing, what
Sure.
summate our conversation today, because I think it's certainly something that's going to add value for our community, and there are others, but we need to partner and do what's right
Yeah.
for the community.
Yeah, and so Happier at Home of Eastern North Carolina, we're a new at-home senior care company, and so we're based out of Rocky Mount, Station Square, which is on Church Street in Rocky Mount, and we're providing a host of services, including transportation, meal prep, grocery trips, all the way to personal care, hygiene, bathing, mobility. So if you've got a loved one that needs help, call us and we can talk you through your options. And so we're looking forward to providing great care and to the community. And so, like we mentioned, folks are not getting any younger, so there's going to be a continued need for these services. Our phone number is 252-443-7419.
Give that again.
So 252-443-7419. Also, if you just Google Happier at Home, you can find us, our location. There are several locations throughout the United States. It's a franchise, so we're locally owned, kind of like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And so we're the only one in North Carolina. And so give us a call. We have a full-time business manager, Connie Cooper, who was born and raised in Rocky Mount. And so she's usually taking the calls and coordinating things for me on the day-to-day operations. But what separates us is we have a pharmacist and a pharmacy team looking at your medications. And that's a big key in keeping you out of the nursing home and the hospital.
Well, absolutely. Well, Thomas, we appreciate you being here. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Pernell, I appreciate you putting up with the flexibility of the second hour. You're a champ to me. With that, we will close and look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks and seeing y'all next week. Have a great day.